I need to tell you what happened to my body. Before it happens to yours too. One day, I just woke up, and it felt like my legs had forgotten how to walk. Started out of nowhere. At first, just a silly feeling like I had slept on my legs. But by the third day, something had changed. I woke up unable to bend my right knee. I tried to get out of bed and almost fell. It was like my body had forgotten how to walk. Are you finding it harder to get out of bed lately? I used to think it was just age too, until I realized my body was crying out for help, and no one warned me. Before I go on, thank you for subscribing to the channel. Every bit of support really helps. That's how it all started for me. Just a regular morning, like so many others. But the moment my feet touched the floor, I knew something was off. My knees groaned with muffled pops, and my ankles felt like they were wrapped in sand. It felt like I was carrying bags of cement where my muscles used to be. My name is Samuel. I'm 68 years old and I live in Flagstaff, Arizona. I've always been an active guy. Morning walks through the woods, growing my own herbs in the backyard for years. But that day, it felt like something was pulling me down. Literally. I hobbled into the kitchen. As the kettle started to whistle, I remembered something odd my wife had said a few days before. You're walking like my dad did before he started using a cane. I laughed at the time, but now, laughing didn't come as easily. The smell of chamomile tea brought some comfort, but the discomfort lingered. I sat in the old chair on the porch, watching the pine trees bend in the wind. It felt like my body was losing its internal structure. The bones didn't hurt all the time, but the gaps between the pain were getting shorter. I made a doctor's appointment. The general practitioner examined me with the same calm routine as always. Said it might be just age, maybe worth running a few tests, but nothing urgent. He sent me home with a vague suggestion. Try walking more, drink water, and see how your body reacts. But I knew this wasn't just aging. The nights started getting worse. The pillow felt distant, like sleep was avoiding me. My legs throbbed silently, and sometimes I'd wake up with my toes tingling, like little alarms were going off under my skin. It was during one of those sleepless nights that I decided to dig deeper, and I found something that chilled me more than the October wind. One word: collagen. I read about it in medical forums, in stories from other seniors. A vital protein that over time quietly diminishes in the body. It gives tissues firmness, joints flexibility, and supports cartilage. And when it starts to disappear, the signs are just like mine: stiffness, pain, heaviness, even trouble climbing stairs. What struck me most was how common it was, and how few people talked about it. It wasn't that I was missing medication. It was something more basic, something my body needed, but had stopped producing like it used to. That's when hope returned. I discovered that with the right nutrients, the body can still make collagen even after 60. And more than that, certain fruits, the kind you find at any market, could speed up the process. Could the answer have been sitting in my fruit bowl all along? That question is what started my plan. A simple, affordable morning protocol backed by real data, and most importantly tested by other seniors with real results. The next morning, I opened an old-school notebook with a blue cover. I started drafting my protocol. I wrote in big letters at the top of the page, Collagen Recovery Plan. Starts today. I jotted down the times, 6:30 a.m. on an empty stomach. Fruit number 1. After lunch, around 1 p.m., fruit number 2. Water throughout the day. And at night, no heavy snacks. The idea was simple. Naturally stimulate the body to produce collagen, using specific fruits at strategic times. No expensive pills or shady supplements. Just real food. My wife, Clara, looked at me skeptically. You going natural now? She joked. But when she saw me limping less 2 days later, she stopped laughing. I started with kiwi in the morning. The tart taste with the fuzzy skin gave me chills, but I knew there was over 70 milligrams of vitamin C in there, which activates a key enzyme in collagen production. A study from the University of Otago in New Zealand confirmed it. 2 kiwis a day reduced joint stiffness in seniors. Within just a week. At noon came the pineapple. Cubed, no sugar, just the fruit's freshness. The bromelain in it did more than soothe, it cleaned out the swelling like an invisible janitor inside my joints. I read in a German article that this enzyme had effects similar to painkillers in osteoarthritis patients, without the drowsiness or dizziness. And at night, the challenge. Sleep without pain. In the first week, the effect was subtle. Fewer pops in the knees. A little more ease getting out of bed. But what really moved me was Mrs. Irene's story. She shops at the same farmer's market as I do. She's used a cane for years and always stops to chat near the fruit stand. When I mentioned I was testing a plan with kiwi, pineapple, and papaya, her eyes lit up. Samuel, I used to eat papaya every day when I was younger. My grandma swore it healed everything, even joint pain. But I stopped. You know how it is. We let go of the good things without noticing. I asked her to try again. We made a deal. Ripe papaya first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. Kiwi before her walk in the park. 2 weeks later, she found me smiling without her cane. I'm walking on my own again. No more pain, she said. It's like my body remembered how it used to be. That gave me a boost. If it worked for her, it could work for me too. In the second week, I added guava. A simple fruit with serious power, over 200 milligrams of vitamin C in just one piece. And best of all, cheap, easy to find, and edible with the skin, where the polyphenols are that protect existing collagen. My notebook filled with notes. Days, times, sensations. Less heaviness in ankles, I wrote on a Thursday. Managed to bend right knee without popping. I noted on a Sunday. Clara started joining in. She cut the fruit, blended smoothies, reminded me of the times. One night, she left a note on the fridge. Stick to your plan to stay strong. By the third week, something else surprising happened. My fingers no longer tingled in the morning. My backyard walks went from 5 to 20 minutes pain-free. That's when I realized this wasn't just an experiment anymore. It was a plan that was working. And if I'd gotten this far with just 3 fruits, what else could happen with the remaining 5? With nearly 20 days of notes in my journal, I decided to expand my plan. I began consuming, in a careful and chronological way, the remaining fruits from the list I had found in my research. For each one, I documented the time of day, how I felt, and even how my body reacted hours later. Papaya officially became my morning fruit. Rich in papain and antioxidants, it helped break down long protein chains, making it easier for the body to absorb the building blocks needed for tissue repair. A study in the Journal of Medicinal Food showed that after just 2 weeks of eating papaya, seniors reported more flexibility and less knee discomfort. I felt it too. Like the rust had started to break loose from my hinges. In the afternoon, I alternated between guava and blackberries. Guava, beyond its impressive vitamin C content, contained lycopene, a compound that protects existing fibers in the body, slowing their degradation. Blackberries, those little dark gems, were rich in anthocyanins. They block enzymes that break down collagen and also improve circulation. An article in Nutrients magazine confirmed it. Daily blackberry consumption reduced joint-degrading inflammatory markers by 25%. I imagined my body like an old building being renovated. Each fruit a skilled worker. Papaya cleared the debris. Guava reinforced the pillars. Blackberries restored the connecting fibers. And came blueberries. Their benefits went beyond joint health. Thanks to their anthocyanins, they reduced inflammation and repaired microtears. Data from the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics showed a 38% improvement in joint mobility in just 14 days. I remembered the feeling of stiffness getting out of bed. Now that seemed like a distant memory. My routine followed a fixed rhythm. 6:30 a.m., papaya with seeds and a splash of lemon juice. 10 a.m., whole kiwi with skin. 1 p.m., smoothie with guava and blueberries. 5 p.m., handful of fresh blackberries. Sometimes I switched things up, but always kept two main windows, morning and afternoon. The key was giving the body an absorption window. After light walking, blood circulates faster. That's when I'd introduced the fruits. And then the final revelation came. I discovered amla, or Indian gooseberry, through an article in Clinical Interventions in Aging. The data stunned me. Seniors who consumed amla for 12 weeks reported a 42% reduction in knee pain. Even more striking, a 24% increase in collagen density and flexibility. This wasn't just promising. It was like the body had received instructions to rebuild what time had worn down. I bought powdered amla, imported and mixed it with warm water, lemon, and honey every morning before my first fruit. The taste was sharp, sour, but I quickly got used to it. My notebook transformed into a recovery journal. The entries became small victories. Today I climbed stairs without holding the rail, walked in the woods for 30 minutes, no pain. Woke up with light fingers, no tingling. The metaphor guiding me was simple. Collagen is the cement of your joints, and fruit, the missing bags of mix. A building only stands if cared for. The body is just the same. I still remember the day I stretched and heard my knees crack not from pain. It was like they were alive again. I looked in the mirror, smiled, and thought, this story needs to be shared. In the last days of that month, my notebook got a new section. On the cover, I wrote boldly, Final Protocol Active Collagen. It was the summary of everything I had learned, tested, and proven on myself. Simple, clear, and doable for anyone. 5-step protocol. 1. Wake up and hydrate with a glass of warm water. 1/2 a squeezed lemon, and a flat teaspoon of amla powder or fresh juice, if available. 2. Breakfast by 7 a.m. Reap papaya with some seeds, or whole kiwi with skin. Alternate between the 2, 3. Morning snack around 10 a.m. A handful of fresh blackberries or blueberries. 4. Light, natural lunch. After the meal, 1 to 2 p.m. Smoothie with fresh guava and strawberries. 5. Afternoon, between 5 and 6 p.m. If stiffness lingers, have another vitamin C-rich fruit or repeat the blueberries. To track improvements in the first 48 hours. Notice if the tingling in your fingers lessens when you wake up. See if you're getting out of bed with less stiffness. Check your mobility after sitting. How do your joints feel? And best of all, you don't need imported supplements or miracle promises. Just consistency and the right foods. And for anyone still skeptical, I'll leave you with Mrs. Irene's story. I filmed a short clip of her at the park walking alone, smiling, no cane. I thought it was just my age pulling me down. But it was my body asking for help, and I finally listened. She followed the same protocol, adapted to her routine. It wasn't easy at first. Some days she nearly gave up because of the kiwi's acidity. But each lighter step kept her going. In 6 weeks, she was back tending her garden. And today, at 73, she proudly says, Samuel, it's been 2 months since I last took pain medication.
Of course, before starting any dietary changes, especially if you have a medical condition, talk to your healthcare provider. But know this, the foundation is here. The collagen your body needs can be reactivated, and it's waiting for you. Now, I want to know, which fruit will you try first? Let us know in the comments, and if you can, tell us how you're feeling today. Your story might inspire someone else to take the first step. Now, if you've made it this far, you probably feel like something needs to change. And maybe you've been waiting for a sign. Consider this video your sign. It doesn't matter if you're in the United States or anywhere else. These fruits are in markets, grocery stores, maybe even your own backyard. The knowledge is in your hands, and the best part, the results come fast, with no side effects. If this content helped you in any way, please subscribe to the channel. Here we share simple, natural and affordable solutions for aging with more ease and vitality. And always, with real stories that turn knowledge into experience. See you in the next video. Take care.